Hey, happy fabulous Friday. How are y'all doing? Of course, we have a new hat this week. I am absolutely bribing my son right now with food. And so that is just how we roll here. Who else gets that? Like, who has bribed their kid? Drop me below. But today we are talking about kicking emotional eating to the curb. Get rid of that emotional eating, okay? And so what is emotional eating? Like, emotional eating is crazy stuff. It's so common. It's a lot more common than a lot of people think. So many people do it. And it doesn't just come out of being sad or mad or something like that. It's also just out of boredom. Like, so many people eat out of boredom, and it leads to unhealthy relationships with food. It leads to being overweight, being unhealthy, all of these sorts of negative side effects. And that's why I want to share with you guys my tips for getting through it. If you are new to me, my name is Isabel Brandenberger. If you're new, drop new below, and I would love to give you a special shout out because I always appreciate my new people. My name is Isabel Strelzik. I am a mindset and wellness coach out here in Boston, helping women to discover and embrace their inner goddess to be more fabulous, fulfilled, and fearless, which is awesome. And so I want to tell you guys a little bit about my own personal experience with emotional eating, and let me know if you can relate. So I have always, like, as long as I can remember, been kind of had emotions around food. I think we all do. I like to think that we all do. But I would always eat when I was bored. Like, that was a go-to thing for me, was to go to the cupboard when I was bored, and I just didn't really know what to do with myself. And that was a big way that I did that. Or anytime that I was feeling really intense emotions, really sad, really angry, mad about things, frustrated, those sorts of things, I would always use food, to the point where, you guys, I would literally change out of pajamas to go to the convenience store to go get some ice cream. Because when I was an emotional eater, when I would eat emotionally, I wanted sugar. That was my big craving. Let me know what you guys want when you want to eat out of emotion. He's gonna join us here temporarily, I guess, until he gets curious about something else. But let me know what you guys do for emotional eating. I personally crave sugar. Any other sugar addicts here? And that was a big thing to stop for me, and that was a really big cycle to break. And to be honest, I'm still working on breaking on. I'm still working on it. It's still a battle for me, but I found some really helpful tips that I want to share with you guys about how I have gotten past that emotional eating. So my first tip for you is to think about, like, what are your feelings around it? Like, what kind of feelings make you eat emotionally, the sad, lonely, bored, those sorts of things, and how do you feel afterwards? Like, what do you feel like afterwards? I always felt like really guilty and just kind of like, oh, you know, like, physically you feel like crap if you down a pint of Ben and Jerry's single-handedly. And so what are the emotions and the physical feelings that you're having before and after you emotionally eat? And it kind of is a self-feeding cycle then. You know, if you're feeling really, really crappy about yourself beforehand, and then you're feeling really crappy about yourself afterwards, it's just gonna continue the cycle. And so that is the first tip that I have for you guys, is just recognize those emotions. Like, think about what they are, all right? And really try to put a name to them, or a feeling to them, or some sort of situation to them, because that will help you so much more with these other tips as well. And my second tip that I have for you is that when you're feeling that urge, when you're feeling that need to, like, eat something, to, like, go to the cupboard and see what you have for chocolate, you know what I mean? When you have that feeling, think about, like, what is it that I'm really trying to not deal with? Because that's how our body is trying to process that emotion is just kind of like numbing it out and shoving it down with food. And that's why it's so important to kind of lean into the emotion a little bit. Just rather than trying to fight it or trying to be like, no, I don't want you, I'm going to replace you with food. Invite it in a little bit. Be like, I see you there. I see you there. I recognize you. And ask yourself what you really need. What do you really need? What is really going on in that mind that needs something? You know? Maybe with boredom, you know, you're like, okay, rather than eating right now, I'm going to bring that boredom to the forefront of my mind. I'm going to think about, what is it that you really need? What is it that I'm bored about? What is it that can fill that a little bit? And lean into that emotion just a little bit, just enough that you learn what your body needs a lot. Hey, Carrie, thanks for popping on. And so I really want you guys to think about that first and foremost. And was that my second tip? I did 2 tips. Yeah, lean into your emotions and recognizing them. And then next, I want you to think about how can you care for your body in other ways? Because a lot of times, the reason why we emotionally eat or we crave those junk food things is because our body is not being taken care of properly. Because we are... Hey, Emily, how's it going? Because our body is not being taken care of properly. And, you know, maybe we just need to take a bath. Or maybe we need to go for a walk. Or maybe we need to nourish our body with healthy food. I found, for example, that when I was craving sugar, like eating some fruit helped. Or drinking some water helped. Because my body just really needed that. Excuse you. Is now really the right time to play with maracas? Kids, man. But my body was needing something and it was looking to this junk food for that because it's really quick, it's really easy, and it gives you a quick jolt of something. So think about, what does your body actually need that you're maybe not giving it? So that is tip number 3. Tip number 4 that I have for you is to get some more fiber in your diet. So increase your fiber uptake, because that is gonna like prevent you from, it's gonna curb those cravings a little bit more. And it's gonna help with that. So like, I love my chocolate fiber supplement because it kind of satisfies that sweet tooth without being like bad for me. And it also really, I lost my train of thought, really nourishes me at the same time. So it also goes along with the 3rd tip where we're really taking care of our bodies. What do I think about sugar replacements such as stevia? I personally don't do a lot of sugar replacements. I mean, I'm really careful about the ones that I do. I do more plant-based ones than I do artificial ones, like the ones that are in pop and soda. Not a big fan of those, or the Splendas. I try to stay away from those as much as possible. But I lean more towards, when I am craving sugar, like I said, things like fruit that are going to deliver me nutrition along with the sweetness, if that makes sense. So that's where I would look, rather than looking at simply how can I replace this sugar, if that makes sense. And my next tip for you guys is to really just try to eat only when you're hungry, and really try to enjoy food when you do eat. So a lot of times our emotional eating comes from looking for pleasure, or, you know, eating out of something other than hunger. And so we really want to make an effort to only eat when we're hungry and recognize, am I hungry yet? You know, my mom always gave us like the 15-minute rule. If you finish eating and you think that you're still hungry, like you finish all the food that you had on your dinner plate and you think you're still hungry, give it 15 minutes. Because that's how long it takes your body to register from, I just ate a meal, and go back up to your brain and be like, oh, I'm full. So just give it 15 minutes. If you're like, oh, I'm hungry, I need a snack, wait. Just wait. set a timer. In 15 minutes, check back in and be like, hey, am I still hungry? Maybe not. And along with that is enjoy food when you do eat. When you do eat out of hunger, really take a few bites that are really, really just pleasurable. Just notice like the texture, the taste, the little intricacies of the food, that sort of thing. You know, don't have to do that for a full meal or it would take you forever to eat. But like try to notice that every once in a while. You know, this is a lot easier at restaurants, I find. Is like if I'm like paying for a nice dinner, I'm like gonna enjoy it. Dang it. And so really work on that pleasure aspect of the eating as well. And my last tip for you guys, this is one that I'm really excited about. I am so excited about this, is I am trying this right now, and it's a body positivity challenge, I guess, practice, is to just like stand naked in front of the mirror every day and just like look at yourself. Don't criticize yourself, don't pass judgment on yourself, just like absorb the information like you would read a textbook. Like you're not passing judgment, you're not saying, oh, I really like that, I really don't like that. You're just there. So try that. I'm currently trying to put that into practice. I just started it. I'm really excited about it. But I hear that that is supposed to be really amazing for your self-confidence, for your body positivity, and for just noticing things about your body that you might not have noticed before. So I hope you guys appreciated these tips on emotional eating. If you did, please give me some hearts. Please share this with a friend. And of course, always feel free to talk to me about it. I am always